the mountain of change. In a small village nestled between towering mountains, there lived a young woman named Elara. She was known for her kindness, but also for her fear of stepping out of her comfort zone. Elara was content with her simple life, helping her mother in the fields, tending to the animals, and visiting the market once a week. The villagers admired her, but they often whispered that she was capable of much more, if only she dared to venture beyond the familiar. One day, an old wise man visited the village. He had traveled far and wide, and his stories of distant lands and great challenges fascinated everyone. He spoke of a legendary mountain hidden deep within the forest that no one in the village had ever dared to climb. They say at the top of this mountain, one can find the answers to life's greatest questions, the old man said, his eyes twinkling with mystery. But the climb is not for the faint-hearted. It will test you in ways you cannot imagine. Elara listened, intrigued but also scared. The thought of leaving the safety of her village, of facing the unknown, terrified her. But that night, she couldn't sleep. The old man's words echoed in her mind, and she began to wonder, was she living her life to the fullest? Was she becoming the person she was meant to be? The next morning, Elara made a decision. She would climb the mountain. With nothing but a small bag of provisions, she set off on her journey. The villagers watched in disbelief as she walked toward the forest, some shaking their heads in doubt, others silently cheering her on. The forest was dense and dark, but Elara pushed forward, determined. The path was steep, the air grew thinner, and the climb became more treacherous with every step. Days turned into weeks, and Elara faced one challenge after another. She was battered by storms, nearly lost her way, and often felt like giving up. But each time, she remembered why she had started. If it doesn't challenge you, it doesn't change you, she whispered to herself, repeating the old man's words like a mantra. As the days went on, Elara noticed something remarkable. She was growing stronger, not just physically, but mentally. She learned to trust herself, to navigate the unknown, and to find strength in her weaknesses. The mountain that had once seemed impossible to climb was slowly becoming her ally. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, Elara reached the summit. The view was breathtaking. She could see her village far below, the forest stretching out in all directions, and beyond that, more mountains waiting to be climbed. But it wasn't the view that moved her to tears. It was the realization that she had changed. The timid girl who had left her village was now a strong, confident woman who had faced her fears and conquered them. Elara returned to the village a different person. The villagers could see the change in her eyes, in the way she carried herself. She no longer feared the unknown. Instead, she embraced it. And though she continued to live in the village, her life was never the same. She became a source of inspiration for others, encouraging them to face their own challenges, to step out of their comfort zones, and to grow. Years later, when people asked her what she found at the top of the mountain, Elara would smile and say, "I found myself." The story of Elara became a legend in the village, a reminder to all that true change comes not from staying where we are comfortable, but from challenging ourselves to climb the mountains we fear. Because it is in those challenges that we discover who we truly are.